All signs point to my husband having cheated on me. Friends agree. He says he didn't. My husband and I have been together for 6 years. We've been married for 3, almost 4. He will often take my phone to use the camera or Google something if his isn't nearby. He doesn't ask first, which I didn't mind, because at the beginning of our relationship, we both said we were okay with the other borrowing our phones. When I try to do the same, he's always taken his phone away before I could use it. I always made excuses until last night. Last night, I asked him a question. He told me to give him a minute because he was busy doing something. While I waited, I saw one of our cats was being cute, so I reached to take his phone for a picture since I left mine in a different room. He practically ran over to take his phone away from me, and I asked why. He said he was going to buy me a surprise present and didn't want me to see. When I didn't believe him, he instead said he wasn't comfortable with me looking at his phone. I was clearly hurt and asked if I could check his phone to reassure myself since he reacted so strange. He said no. I walked away to get some space. He didn't try to follow. Hours later, my friend suggested he and I go through his phone together, which he agreed to. Keep in mind, this was hours, so he could have potentially had time to delete any evidence there may have been. We were going through his phone and it was a little strange. He's the type of person to never close out of apps fully. He also has dozens of tabs in Google all the time. There were no open apps and no Google tabs at all. In our years of relationship, this has never happened. He always has apps/tabs until last night. Other than that, all seemed well until I saw he had a Snapchat conversation with a female friend of his that I voiced worry about before. The first and only time I met her, we were in a small group. She walked right up to him and started a conversation. She ignored me, even though I was right next to him. He didn't introduce me to her either. One of our friends jokingly called out their behavior by saying, "Aren't you going to introduce your wife?" He laughed it off and introduced me after a few seconds of hesitation. He didn't call me his wife, just said, "This is name," and nothing else. He was really quiet the entire night while she was trying to non-stop talk to him, even though she invited her own BF as well. That night was 6 months ago. When we got home, I asked if they ever had a romantic or sexual thing together. He said no. Last night, he revealed they did. He said it was before our relationship and he never said anything because he was ashamed. His reasons for being ashamed? They hooked up during a low point in his life, and this friend is his brother's ex-GF. He says there was no overlap between them and our relationship. In scrolling through the Snapchat conversation, there were things that she had saved in chat. I immediately saw NSFT memes he sent her. Things like, "This could be us," with a picture of a guy resting his head on a girl's butt. I asked why he sent that, and he said he just thought it was funny. I asked how, and he just said, "Funny," again, this time with hesitation. Scrolling more, revealed she sent him nudes a little over 2 months ago. She was the one to save them in chat. He didn't, but again, he could have tried to remove as much evidence as possible. Everything in this chat was saved by her and not him. He said he had no idea what the nudes were or how they got there. He also said he never saw or noticed them. I asked how he possibly couldn't have noticed them. He then said he did notice, but ignored them because he knows she sent them on accident when drunk. I asked if he knew they were accidental or if he assumed. He said he knew, so I asked how he responded to the photos. He apparently told her to not send any in the future. She apparently never replied to that directly. He said they just continued their conversation like she never sent anything. I said, "So you didn't actually know if they were an accident? It sounds like she didn't confirm." And he said no, he didn't know for sure. He just assumed they were accidentally sent to him instead of her BF. Notice that the drunken accident theory was changed. Scrolling back more shows that when my husband and I first started dating, Her ex-BF was jealous of her friendship with my husband. Her ex said my now husband and she would flirt with each other. Another message from her confirms that he sent her an NSF video of himself while him and I were dating. So 2 pieces of evidence that confirm an overlap, even though he said there wasn't one. He says he just didn't remember, which I could believe since it was years ago. Not too long after we got married, he also had a mysterious bruise that looked like a hickey. This was on his chest, right under his collarbone. I was suspicious based on the placement. He swore it was a bruise and said he couldn't remember how he got it, but I feel like with a spot like that, you'd notice being hit or hitting something hard enough to bruise. Like your face would probably be hit too, or at least close to being hit. Around the time I met the potential affair partner, he had another mysterious bruise. This one was above his collarbone near his neck. I know that he likes getting hickeys there. He had the same story, a bruise he had no idea how he got. I believe that's all my evidence. He swears he didn't cheat. In my eyes, the flirty memes are already a form of emotional cheating. He apologized for hurting me and says he'll do anything to regain my trust. So my question is, am I justified for thinking he cheated, even if he says he didn't? I suggested marriage counseling, and he said he'd be okay with going. For those who have done marriage counseling after a cheating or potential cheating incident, did it help? Also, sorry if this is all over the place. I tried to give dates or rough time frames as best I could. I also tried to make it organized, but I'm a mess right now. Edit. This got way more attention than I could ever expected. I do plan to reply to comments when I'm not so overwhelmed. I did want to quickly add that I'm autistic. This tends to make me a lot more trusting than others. I also want to thank everyone who has commented, and thanks in advance to those who will. Even if some are hard to read, any advice, not judgment, is appreciated. I genuinely didn't even think that he could have been cheating our entire relationship until it was mentioned in comments. I will also be posting an update in the future, since I see a lot of people are interested in that. Edit 2. I still plan on posting an update. However, I see some people have asked the update command or whatever it's called to give them a reminder in a week. My update won't be that soon. I'll be taking my time.